Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Cape Town Sevens, the final one of the group stages before we head in to the quarterfinal matchups. It's going to be South Africa versus France due to the result of this Fiji versus Canada match that is currently taking place. Means that France can't qualify, but it does mean that they can stop South Africa from making themselves number one in their group. Good Billy actually, they've just shown that one again. He jumped into that tackle. He got penalised for that in one of his first games. So interesting that he is still sticking with that tactic. But South Africa in this matchup, they've gone with Ryan Osterhazen, Impi Visa, JC Pretorius, Saviwe Soyas-Wapi, Muller Duplessis, Shelton Van Wyk, and Ricardo James Duarte. Actually, the exact same lineup as they have had for their past two matches. They've gone, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And seems to be a very effective weapon. We found that out when they were able to beat Fiji 19 points to 7. Looking at this French side, Jonathan Legiel, Rabage, Pasquet, Steven Perez, Paulin Riva returning into the side recently. Grandidier will be wanting to get himself back to the number one on the series try scorers. At the moment, Va'a Pilo Maliko has overtaken him. He'll want to take that spot back. And then Marius Damon, the last man in the starting lineup for the French. And also, Super UK, mate, says Gareth in there. Of course, that last result between the Sharks and the Quins was quite the game, going right down to the wire. And then the Thungu's going to score another try for the Fijians. Now, I should mention a couple of the quarterfinal matches are already set in stone. That will be New Zealand versus Uruguay, Samoa. They've got a tough game up against the Argentines. We'll definitely test them when that takes place. And then also another matchup that's almost confirmed will be Great Britain. They will be in the final. USA's in the final. It's just a question of who finishes first and who finishes in second out of Fiji and South Africa. But do let me know your score predictions for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the benches, Branko de Pre, Zane Davids, both very good in the last matchup. James Murphy's there. Darren Adonis, who had actually a match-saving tackle almost up against the Fijians. And then Delvin Blood, the last man for the South Africans. Then it is Hoyard, Iragua, Paul Carrell, and also Lucas. So Iragua, he was actually in the starting lineup for the last game that we covered on the channel for the French. Now, Canada, one last attacking chance by the looks of it, and then we will be jumping straight into this game between South Africa and the French. So South Africa, their defending champs. We already know that Australia have missed out on qualification. Same with the Irish. And the Irish were the team that made it through to the final to take on South Africa in Dubai last week. So it means no matter what, we're going to have at least one different side in the final. Questions more, will it be two different sides? Can the Blitzboks replicate what they did last week, go all the way in the competition? I'm just going to have a very quick look and see what the next result means. If Fiji qualified first compared to if they qualify second. Okay, so first in Pool A, take on Great Britain. Second in Pool A, take on the USA. It's hard to say who both of these sides would want to take on. I would think South Africa, though, they would prefer to face the USA in their quarterfinal because it was only recently that Great Britain were actually able to beat the Blitzboks. And that was in their matchup that took place last week in Dubai. But the Fijians just getting themselves to win 36 points to 17, so putting a little bit of pressure on South Africa in terms of that points differential. But the big thing here is pretty much if South Africa win, they come out as first, which will be exactly what they aim for. We've seen some great individual brilliance from a few of the South African players. Shelton Van Wyk showing his pace when he kicks that ball in behind. Duarte just being a ball of energy every single time he plays. But they cannot underestimate this French side. Even though France have lost one of their games 33-0 to Fiji, they won up against the Canadians 19 points to 12. Fun fact, in every game that South Africa have played up till this point, they have scored exactly 17 points. So that would mean, on paper, this game should be 17 points to something. But it's the question of, will France have more than those 17 points? That will be the one that's about to be answered. But the two sides now making their way out of the tunnel. France wearing the white. South Africa, of course, in that green and gold, front of a home crowd. And there's certainly plenty of crowd attendance for this game. They want to see the Blitzboks go back to back. They just need to put in a good performance here, and then they'll have their game going head to head with Great Britain. I just realized as well, Me saying that they won't want to face Great Britain would mean that they'd actually lose this game. So they want to face Great Britain. They want to win this one. But every other side on notice in the comp, currently on a bit of a winning streak. Ever since that Great Britain loss, I believe now their winning streak's up to about 6 or 7. It's pretty decent for South Africa. It's not quite the win streak they had last year, but they will certainly be looking to one day return to that form. That man has got a Springbok head on. That will be very hot. It's currently about 20-something degrees in Cape Town for this matchup. It will be the South Africans who do pick this one off right to left, and the matchup is underway. This one almost feels like a quarterfinal with the caliber of the two teams, but quarterfinal, we're only going to see South Africa in there. France not able to qualify this time. Now passing across Nigel, trying to cut up the middle. The only way that South Africa get knocked out of this competition from here is if France win this one by about 45 points or more. In fact, it might even be more than that, the margin that they do need. Well, this one, yeah, they would need to win it by 47 points to get themselves through to the next stage. Unless something drastic happens to the Blitzboks, do not see that happening. Although, nice ball on the inside to Steven Perez, driven backwards in the tackle by Impe Visa, told to release. He's trying to release, but Perez still had his arm tied up a little bit. Now Riva, wrestled down by JC Pretorius. So far, France have had more of the possession. And I says, Johannes Payne, welcome in, mate. I hope you are doing very well, South Africa. They end up winning this game. Their next matchup will be taking place at 8:03 a.m. New Zealand time. If they lose this game, next game at 7:35 a.m. It'll be a relatively late night in Cape Town. A little bit of dew around on the surface could cause some problems. Legel just standing still, looking for that gap. Grandidier, the try-scoring machine. In fact, it's Pasquet who has put that one down. Good chance for France. They get it wrong, and now South Africa, they are going to have themselves the scrum feed. I believe the next game that we are covering on the channel, though, ladies and gentlemen, will be taking place as part of the women's quarterfinals. I want to say the next one is Fiji versus USA. Just to have a quick look at the schedule. I'm going to be cooking some food in between this live stream and the next. I believe, yeah, Fiji versus USA at 5:28 a.m. That's going to be our next game that we do end up covering. That gives me time to cook and time to drink, as in water, not any alcoholic beverages. We've still got another 4.5 hours left of our day. We can't afford to be drinking. Now, the water. Okay, there we go. That's a stat and a half. France have never been in South Africa, so looking to make history here. The Wote puts the ball in for the Blitzboks, though, and to beat South Africa, you certainly need to make sure you're not making any mistakes, and that's one from France, giving away the penalty advantage, kicked behind from, it was Shilton van Wyk, now going to be chased well by Grandidier, gets through the tackle attempt from Sifiwe Suez-Wapi. Now only just out from their own line, penalty to South Africa. Player off feet, South Africa now 25 metres out, have the penalty chance. Normally it's Duarte who takes the tap and they decide from there what set piece they do want to use. Steven Perez, Edo Martin, or as I call him, Steven Perez, a little bit shorter. Now Ryan Oosterhuizen takes the quick tap. Gives it off now to Duarte. Sells the dummy as if he was going to Muller du Plessis. Now using the back line. Oosterhuizen. In fact, it's JC Pretorius trying to break through. Getting scragged down by his collar. And Bivisa. One more to Chilton van Wyk. 6 offside. That's going to be against Paul and Reva du Plessis. He's going through. Muller du Plessis scores the try. Face plants the ground for the process and does score that try for the Blitzboks. 3 tries already for the Cape Town Sevens competition, but the Duarte, just with that step, great flat ball to du Plessis. Grandidier was drifting wide as they had the option on the outside. I believe it would have been Ryan Oosterhuizen who was waiting for it, but then just driving through. Muller du Plessis scores another, and that will now make the score 5-0. Kick to come should be a relatively straightforward one for the Blitzboks here, and it has gone over 7 points to 0. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Can they get themselves their 17 points again here, the Blitzboks? It's going to be tricky because I believe if they get those runaway tries, they're going to be able to convert them relatively easily. They actually go above Fiji as the current table sits. That would mean that Fiji would take on the USA and South Africa would take on Great Britain. Nice low tackle made by JC Pretorius. Ball bouncing around a little bit. Riva cleans up. France still looking to fight for this one. Pasquet breaks through, but Van Wyck's wearing him like a backpack. Now Riva going off to Stephen Perez. A little bit of a handling error there, but it has gone back with Riva now. One more pass on the outside to Grandidier. Dodges the tackle on Muller. Duplessis, another big fin. Van Wyck making another tackle. He has been everywhere for the Blitzboks early on. Stephen Perez goes across. Pasquet now. Going to pin the ears back. Trying to go through. Breaks the tackle with Duarte, who misses it again. Now off to Riva. JC Pretorius has the pace. Off to Perez. This will be the try to France. And that going to be another 7-pointer for them in the Dubai Sevens. Sorry, the Cape Town Sevens, I should say. Actually, the first one for Stephen Perez throughout this competition. But he didn't look that happy. But you'd assume he is a happy boy at the moment with the way that France have been playing, just stepping around all of the defenders. Pauline Riva, beautiful step in. Perez with the offload straight into his bread basket. And the number 5 for France gets it down. Okay, 10 missed tackles from South Africa. They've just shown as a stat. Something they'll definitely have to clean up on before they get to their next matchup against either USA or Great Britain. Perez kicks off. Travels about 20 meters, that one. Mistake from Duarte. It's gone backwards. Legel. Bit of a counter ruck. Penalty goes the way of South Africa. Player leaving feet. Legel not happy. 90 seconds left. Looks like South Africa will kick this one downfield into touch. Come on the box, says Gareth there. Yeah, the Blitzboks, they're being put under pressure here by France. That's the thing. Even though they're going to miss out on the qualification. Oh, okay. Duarte was about to kick that one into touch, and someone stepped up. I think it was Ryan Oosterhuizen who said, we're taking the scrum here because we love a set play. And now hoping to use this quick backline they've got. I believe that's actually Delvin Blood out there on the field. Who's gone off? I think that might be Safebe Sawyers Wapi, who's actually made his way off the field now. A big hit for the Blitzboks lineup. Crowd is certainly steaming in for Cape Town. They've had quite a few numbers through the doors. They'll be hoping for even more tomorrow when we get to see the semis and the final. Now another nice step. Duplessis, ball on the outside, little bit of a handling error, but Delvin Blood goes through the new boy. Grandidier is going to try and catch him. Watch out, there's another man there running across. Repage does enough to stop Delvin Blood. Takes him down now. South Africa, that slapped out of the hands. Perez, that was cynical. See you later, buddy. You're going to the bin for 2 minutes. Now, offside there. Perez slaps it out of the hands. Now they will be playing with only 6 men on the field for the next 20 seconds. Slaps the arm, but does connect with the hand as well. And he was from an offside position. So extremely costly for him there. I'm just having a look through at when the semi-finals are taking place. I see that at 10:24, that one of the semi-finals will be taking place. Are you good? Thank you, says Luke van der Nest there. France trying to fire themselves up. It's important that they get this right. Riva's actually got his arm around Duarte. Don't know whether or not you're allowed to do that. Early push. I think France weren't really holding their body weight though. So now back across to South Africa. Duplessis, Waikato pass. Delvin Blood for the corner. Oh, tell you what, he almost blew that. Delvin Blood. I believe he scored it. They're going to be checking this one to see maybe if it was a high tackle, because if it was, we may see Grandidier going to the bin. Checking for you now. Delvin Blood went for the corner there. No, that was, I believe that's a legal tackle from Grandidier. Where's the ball? Where's his feet? That's fine. And Delvin Blood gives it a little fist bump. He knows how important that one might have been for the South Africans. But actually managing to dig his boot in so that the body momentum towards the touchline was halted. Just something that we've seen quite a bit throughout the match or throughout the Sevens competition. Not so much stopping yourself from going into touch, but just the slipperiness doesn't seem to be in effect as of yet. Only in the evening session we start to see that juice start to play factor. But for now, very grippy out there, and Delvin Blood scores the try. Jeez, it took some big contact from Grandidier there, though, at halftime in this contest. 12 points to 7. The chance of South Africa still getting 17 on the board for the third time in this sevens competition is still relatively high. It's just that question of how many can France get alongside the South Africans scoring. But Taviwe Soyas-Wapi, I'm not too sure whether he was the player who was taken off the field or it was someone else. But Delvin Blood out there a lot earlier than anticipated. Could have even been maybe Shilton van Wyk. I'm just looking around. Brian Oosterhuizen, was it? No, Miller du Plessis. Who lost their spot in that starting lineup? Not too sure, but it must have been tactical, and the tactics paid off, having Delvin Blood make his way out there. Extra bit of aggression, but 10 missed tackles from South Africa. A couple raindrops still falling at the ground, so that may add a little bit of slipperiness later on in the contest. South Africa, though, they know what they need to do. They've already qualified no matter what here. It's just finishing the group stage on a high note. That will be what the South Africans look to do. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be back for the quarterfinal matchup for the Blitzboks. Also, all of those other quarterfinal games we are hoping to cover on the channel as well. So be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We've got plenty more coming up in the near future. Also, if you're a fan of cricket, we are going to be doing the South Africa versus Australia Test Series that is taking place relatively soon. Going to be an awesome one, and we will be doing the full days of Test match cricket. If you don't get sick of me talking on these Sevens live streams, let's see if you get sick of me talking for 7.5 hours non-stop. That's what those Test match ones are going to be. Brian, but Habana straight away knows where the camera was, gives it away. Apparently, he'll be happy with this performance from the Blitzboks. 5 points up. France try and go short. Doesn't go the 10 meters. Duarte decides to take it anyway, but Impey Visas knocked the ball on in the process. Gets the rub on the head from Legel. We'll have to stop with that carry on, or else he might end up getting the penalty reversed. I think that's actually what the referees just said. He said, we don't need any of that. Let's keep it relatively civil between the two sides. Currently, as it stands, South Africa would finish first in Pool A. France cannot make their way through to the next stage, but they can certainly stop South Africa from finishing number one. Perez still off the field for another 50 seconds or so. Riva about to put the ball in. It's a free kick to France. He will say calm down, closing the gap penalty, and I believe the quick tap will be available for the French now. And go the Blitzboks from Durkee in the chat as well. Seems like the Blitzboks, they're really starting to have a lot of support behind them ever since they won in Dubai. Seems like the crowd and the country really getting back behind the Blitzboks, which is great to see. They're a side that even when they were losing games, you see those loyal supporters sticking by them, hoping that they'll be able to turn it around, and that's what they're doing. Rabash does nicely. Penalty won by France. Another quick tap taken. Oh, Damon just slips on the halfway line. Penalty again. Discipline disappointing from the South Africans just in this little period of play. And this will actually mean that Stephen Perez can come back out onto the field. Du Plessis, yeah, that one wrong. This time it looks like France will look to kick this one for touch. Let's just boot that one downfield. Make sure it goes out 25 meters out from the line now. France will have themselves a line out. Time off now. Referee is calling for, so I believe there's going to be a few more subs being made for the sides. Who's it going to be? We still holding? No, they're all good. No subs made, just making sure they had everyone in the right spot for the line out. Stephen Perez steps up to the mark. Line out thrown in. Goes straight to Legel. Back to Perez. First receivers, Riva. Back around to Perez. Recently returning from his yellow card. Almost over that. Darren Adonis gives away another penalty. And the crowd are disappointed with that one. I can kind of understand that. I believe it's actually for not rolling away that they've said that penalty is for. Sam Perez. It's going to be a scrum now. France in the second half, we have actually seen 3 penalties against South Africa, 0 against the French, whereas in that first half, it was actually from the South Africans were winning the penalties rather than conceding. And also Brian there from Snowy Van Dyke. I'm not sure what that first part says, but if you're offering a braai, I know that there's a lot of people who would accept it because the moment, South Africa doing very well. They won in their game up against the Sharks. They won in their game up against the Harlequins. For the Sharks, the Lions, they ended up drawing. Now in the Sevens, they're doing pretty well. They've qualified. That ball's gone back. France now going to be another advantage for a high tackle. That's 4, in fact, 5 in a row now up against South Africa. And also, we have got that Duran in the chat. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Can South Africa get themselves the win? Do let me know. The moment, 3.5 minutes left. Another quick tap taken by Perez. Just walking into it now. For the French big shot put on by Ryan Oosthuizen. Sits him down and tells him all about it after he's done it. Looks like the French player stayed down. Duarte almost going through. But Schutten van Wyk receives the pass. Across the top ahead. Over Delvin Blood. Now JC Pretorius. Nice step. Legel makes the tackle there on halfway. Delvin Blood plays half again. Oosthuizen. Cross to Schutten van Wyk. Kicks it in behind. One of the best in the game at the chip and chase. Just too much pace. The ball sits up for him. And that is a thing of beauty from Schutten van Wyk. And thanks for the shout. Says Duran there. No worries at all. Hopefully I have pronounced your name correctly. I didn't try the last name mainly because I think I would well and truly butcher it there. And also Luke has set up out the box, and that is a very nice try. Schutten van Wyk saw there was no one back covering, so he just kicks it in behind, waits for the bounce of the ball, and it sits up as if it knew that that was what was supposed to happen. Schutten van Wyk. In his last matchup, he actually had the chip in behind, then the grubber, and then the catch of the ball for the try. This one, a little bit more stock standards, chip and chase. It's hard to do, but when a player's got that much pace, he makes it just look easy. But 19 points to 7, the most points that the Blitzboks have scored throughout this Cape Town Sevens competition so far. And they've still got time to possibly get themselves another try. Kicked off. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left. Duarte goes towards the touchline, nicely taken by, I believe it was the number 12, was it? No, who was that? It's going to be a penalty in favour of the South Africans anyway. Now Zane David's considered going for it. No, the number 92, Paul, in fact, it is. To get that one slightly wrong. Now South Africa with another penalty in their favour. Seems like they've made most of their changes. Murphy's on the field. I'm looking around for Branco de Prea. I don't see him yet, but I see Darren Adonis is now out there. Gareth Ferguson, go the box. No offense, France. But you have to shout for the box or the WWWRFU, says Flesh in there. Now 90 seconds left on the clock. South Africa favouring the scrum. And in fact, now Branco de Prea makes his way onto the field. That is for Duarte, who once again has performed at the top level for the Blitzboks in the box, says Gareth there. So as it sits, they would face Great Britain in their quarterfinal match. The side that managed to defeat them in Dubai. Fiji, they will go on to face USA. And that's set up. Branco de Prea about to put the ball in. He does just that. Now it's available for them. Going to be Darren Adonis. Goes for the kick in behind. Another bit of pace. Schutten van Wyk gets another. He is just too quick. Schutten van Wyk. He's been taken down by Delvin Blood, who was a bit too excited. Schutten van Wyk, 4 for Cape Town, on fire. He's not in the team of the week. I would be very surprised. Awesome Blitzbockies. Says Duran there in the box, says Gareth. But the kick in behind from Adonis. And then out of nowhere, Schutten van Wyk just charges through, says, yep, that'll do me. It's in the right spot. Sits up for him again and gets another try. Marcus said, nice block in there as well. So I should mention that with the the Blitzboks winning this game, their next match that they will be playing, it is going to be at 8. Oh, where is it? It will be at 8:06. No, where are we? There's going to be, where is it? Oh, I'm in the women's section. That'll do it. 8:06 a.m. And Van Wyk is brilliant. Says, no, yeah, lekker boys, says Dunny. Yeah, they're going to be playing it just after 8 o'clock New Zealand time, which I believe is about 9 p.m. South African. Ball available again for the South Africans here. They do just kick the ball into touch. They'll take the win, 26 points to 7. And now they move through the face up against the Great British boys. But looking through at all of the quarterfinals that have now been confirmed, it is going to be New Zealand versus Uruguay at 6:37 a.m. And from there, Samoa versus Argentina, 7:05 a.m. USA versus now, we know it's Fiji. That will be at 7:35 a.m. And then the last game, it will be South Africa taking on Great Britain. That is the 8:03 a.m. kickoff. It is taking place. And when you come to South Africa, you need to do a braai, biltong, and bokum, as well as snook, says Snowy Van Dijk. I haven't actually heard of bokum before. I think that's a new one. I've heard of the other two, but not the bokum part. Yeah, but then the next game that we are covering on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, will be taking place at about an hour's time. That is Fiji versus USA for the women's side of things. And that will be at around that 5:30 a.m. We'll get all those live streams scheduled within the next kind of 20 to 30 minutes or so. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel so you get notified as soon as we go live for those upcoming matches. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I will see you all for the